Welcome to 1915, to the Grand Campaign, and this time we'll be looking at how to push into Germany, hopefully, who knows. We managed to push up to Aachen last time, and we're getting ourselves cut up a little bit in Koblenz, trying to overrun the remaining Germans there. And I noticed that we can do blockade against Germany as a decision, which requires us to have at least six ships in Heligoland, the Frisian Islands, and the Bay of Mecklenburg. The only one where we're missing is the Bay of Mecklenburg. This is the Frisian Islands, this is Heligoland, and Mecklenburg is here. So we're going to take this fleet and we're going to send it to Mecklenburg so that we can start to hurt Germany with the blockades. Then it seems like they also removed a lot of troops from Cologne, which is good. We also appear to have a bit of a deficit in terms of money, and that's fine. That's to be expected, because so far we're working to build a lot of ships. So we're going to have our airplanes attacking the enemy troops. That's a lot of losses, 100 personnel on one air attack. That's because we are also hitting them on the ground. I think that's kind of providing a little bit of support. And now we can try to attack Cologne again. Let's see. Oh, we do have the Warspite now. So we're gonna deploy the Warspite and the HMS Royalist cruiser. This force in general is gonna be repaired eventually. Although I was thinking of sending some of these ships over to the Mediterranean, I remember. But probably reorganizing them a little bit is a good idea. Yeah. And then, did I ever send them to the Mediterranean? No. So now that we do have the Warspite built, also the HMS Neptune seems to be pretty damaged. Let's not bring it on over. Now we have a pretty decent fleet assembled. We can rebase them on over to Malta, where we will meet a few more ships of the Mediterranean fleet and hopefully destroy the Austro-Hungarian forces and also the Ottoman ones. In the meantime, we are going to have the blockade available as the event likely shows up. Our powerful navy allows us to harm Germany's economy. If we manage to cut Germany from its trading partners, we may bring our enemy to its knees. So we shall set up the blockade. I am guessing that this is going to be a problem for them because it might give them some dissent. Obviously, because they're lacking in terms of basic resources, basic supplies, like even food. They're kind of reliant on imports. We also have success in attacking some enemy convoys. Very good. We also have some redeployments happening to Egypt. And you guys are retreating. They're going to retreat in soon. Okay. So you're attacking, and you're not going to be able to break through like that. But you may have more reinforcements coming in, so I should keep an eye out for that attack. And the Germans are counter-blockading us. The Kriegsmarine starts blockading our trade lines. We may soon suffer from material shortages if we don't find a solution. Oh, and Bulgaria joined the Central Powers as well. So that is a problem for Serbia, and it's also a problem for Thessalonica. A big one at that. Where is our... I thought we had a transport heading towards the Mediterranean with some troops. Let's find the French division. No. Definitely not you. Oh, right. Right, I sent it on over to Egypt. Yeah, this might be a problem also because they can take Thessalonica while we don't have anything there to protect it. So I should have sent some troops there earlier. We do have an infantry division in Malta, but we don't have a transport anywhere. No, we do have a transport flotilla. So let's hope that they're enough to transport the garrison of Malta to Thessalonica. Because the enemy may indeed have a few May indeed have a few ships patrolling the area, especially now that Bulgaria joined the war. I'm not sure what their navy is. Seems like it doesn't exist, so okay. That's what our intelligence tells us, and what do we have in terms of intelligence? 37%, so I'm fairly certain that we have pretty good intel on them. Let's try some industrial espionage on Germany. We failed. And that's kind of not good because we're running low on money. I would have liked to keep a little bit of a success going, but oh well. We're also attacking both Cologne and Koblenz. Bulgaria joined the Central Powers, and Greece joined on our side. Okay, so we don't actually need to send our multi-garrison to... we did send a fleet to the Mediterranean. Okay, so we don't need to send our troops to Thessalonica, hopefully, because we have Greece in the area. Well, we're probably going to need to send some reinforcement, but with Greece, we're going to be able to at least hold Skopje, because it's a mountain province, and the Greek troops should be able to hold that quite easily against enemy forces, even if they're superior. So, because this is a VP, this is going to keep Serbia alive and unannexed by the Central Powers. So I'm guessing that that's going to be the end of that. And ooh, I see reinforcements. So in Cologne, the arrival of reinforcements definitely isn't good. However, since we're still attacking in Koblenz, we are going to keep attacking in Cologne regardless, even though we are going to be taking huge casualties in Cologne because of the enemy fortifications. As you can see, we are already at 2,600 casualties, and that's a lot, but at the same time, if we can keep them from reinforcing Koblenz further, then we can take that province and at least have something to show for our dedication. And we also won in Kigali, which is down here in Rwanda. And then I also have a couple of troops redeploying in March, so that's going to be a little bit later. El Arish is prone to a counterattack once we do have some daylight. They decided to attack anyway, but oh well. We also have some more divisions coming up, which is great. And that means that we can send them on over to France. So far, I'm going to concentrate on sending troops to France, but soon I'm going to start sending troops around the world where we may need them. And we are making our attack count against the Germans. It seems like the French are also attacking in Luxembourg, so that's really good. How are things going in El Arish? I do not know. There's 2 Ottoman divisions in the area. The problem is it's desert, but it does look like we have a pretty easy time defeating these forces because they're quite outdated. Koblenz is about to fall, almost. And we do have the counterattack doctrine, so that allows us to research further on into defense in depth for Schwerpunkt. Now, defense in depth is going to increase our land unit defense and then work towards offensive attrition, so keeping up with the theme of defense. Central control, increasing our organization and HQ combat event chance multiplier, which is really good. Or we could go for Schwerpunkt and then defensive attrition, which I think these two are kind of misnamed. They should be the opposite. Defensive attrition would improve our organization and attack, and forward control would improve a lot of things. We have a blueprint for defense, but I think that attack is better. However, delay chance plus 8% is really nice for defense in depth. I think we'll go for Schwerpunkt, also because I think that this is what the Germans have. So their doctrines, once we try to steal their blueprints, have a chance of passing on to us. We would need maneuver tactics to research this well and quickly, but we don't. So I'm just going to use the Royal Marines again, because the intelligence service, while a little bit better at researching the doctrine, will not be quite as expendable of a research team. The Royal Marines can just be used for that so far, because the Marines are still a little bit too early. We also seem to have some dissent, so I shall redeploy, I guess, reassign some IC to that. I will also put you in shore bombardment of Rostock, so that you can attack some convoys. We're still bombing in Koblenz, which has inflicted quite a lot of damage over time to the Germans. Okay, excellent. So we have managed to reach the province. We're going to leave these 2 divisions behind in Eupen while we redeploy up these 2. We have the cavalry pushing through. Let's try to continue charging through Trier and Neuwind. At the same time, we shall move the Aldershot command with the general headquarters to Koblenz. And we are also going to support our French allies in their attack on Luxembourg. We're also still bombing them, which should inflict more casualties now that they're retreating. At least that's what usually happens during World War II. But I'm not sure our technology is quite up to that point yet. Also, naval doctrines, raider patrols are fine, because convoy raiding, again, is really good. And none of these other ones are quite available yet. We are quite far ahead in terms of the naval doctrine game. So we can very simply go for the raider patrol. Also because we have a blueprint and it's a 1910 technology, which means it's very, very easy to research. Now, the rest of our navy should have reached the Mediterranean. Yes, it should, and it has. Seems like our allies have the situation under control in Greece. Wait, Russia? Oh, right, they have a bit of an air force base there. Let's send the ships that need to repair the most back to Britain. Okay, and these ships shall be focusing mostly towards the Ottoman Empire side of things, at least for now. So I will only do the region of the Eastern Mediterranean instead of the area. Actually, I could do naval interdiction in the Aegean Sea to have an even smaller area. Yes. And hopefully we shall sink some Ottomans. I think that they still have a navy somewhere around. They have 3 battleships, according to our intelligence. Austro-Hungarians took a bit of a pounding fighting us, but they still should have a navy. So both of these are targets for us. And we also should have, soon enough, a new infantry division for the mainland. Although, maybe not. Well, this one, I'm gonna increase the priority. I think I increased it to the maximum. Yeah, I did. But that's good, so that we can finish it quickly and ship them off to somewhere. Now, our cavalry breaking through to the eastern bank of the Rhine may be enough to actually overrun. Oh yeah, we did. We overran quite a few German divisions, which is really good. And now I'm gonna split off the 2nd Mounted Division and go towards Bielefeld, while the 1st Mounted Division goes to Düsseldorf. In the meantime, I'm gonna send 2 corps over to Koblenz and try to also go to Neuwied with the rest, while the other units, these 4, try a bit of a distraction action against Cologne. This should prevent the enemy from moving reinforcements to their endangered rear flanks. Although, oh no, that's just way too many troops. I can't actually sustain that kind of a diversionary attack. We've already taken tons of casualties, and we're gonna abandon that. In Luxembourg, things seem to be going really well. We are encircling and defeating tons of German forces. Although on the Eastern Front, the Germans are still doing really well. So we're gonna need to make sure that our army is up to snuff with that. In the meantime, our other cavalry units are moving towards Trier, and they're hopefully going to be able to break through towards the south, and we do have a naval battle. We found the 2 Ottoman battleships, and that should be an easy victory. There's only 6 of them. They are commanded by a German admiral, but we just have such an overwhelming advantage in terms of actual ships. We should be able to sink them quite easily. We did indeed sink one of their ships, and ooh, here comes the Ottoman army. Not good at all. So the Ottomans have a ton of forces in El Arish now, and we're just gonna retreat because we can't really. Yeah, we really cannot fight that. We're gonna retreat across the canal, and then eventually try to do a naval landing somewhere else in Palestine to distract all of these forces and force them to move back. Because we do have the Aegean now pretty much under control. So they shouldn't have any way to cross the canal. Okay, Trier is about to fall to our forces. And we do have a new infantry division. Very good. Shall push these back to the bottom of the pit and send up one of the divisions that is now being trained. And these 2, they'll go over to Mediterranean theater. They will try to go to El Arish. In fact, their Ottomans seem to have left a lot of forces around. And now we can simply reinforce the area with more troops. Hopefully. Ooh, Sea of Crete. Oh, there's the other Ottoman battleship. And it's sunk. Both the German one, I believe that was the German one, and the other ship that they had, the Tier 1 battleship. Very nice. So we are in Düsseldorf. We can try to attack towards Münster and then try to surround Cologne. That would be very, very good. We're also getting attacked in Neuwied. And Italy, very good news, has joined the Entente powers. So that should distract the German forces even more. In the meantime, in Trier, we have a bit of an offensive going. You can join into that offensive. We have also taken Luxembourg, and now these units can move towards Neuwied and then Düsseldorf. Try to support the remnants of our cavalry that's trying to push up and surrounding Cologne. So we finally also have the ability to build interceptors. Since this is 1915, we can upgrade them up very nicely. Interceptors, what do we have here? They do have some air attack, so I shall put these into the production. And they shall of course be fairly important because we do want to build an air force right off the bat. You're still getting attacked, which isn't good. Finally, in Trier, we're going to have support. It should be enough to break the remnants of the German army in that area. We also have a bit of a freed up air force, so we are going to attack the troops in Frankfurt that are trying to overrun our cavalry. And ooh, National Protection Alliance is growing in China. Possibly not the best thing for us. Now our infantry corps here is doing just fine. But the Ottomans do have a lot of forces in the area. And that's not good. We still have the offensive chit, which is really good for us. Neuwied, we have one. We have new attacks going on in Münster. Now at this point, you have almost gone there. You have almost gotten there too. Now you will continue to Neuwied. You from Koblenz, however, will attack back into Cologne. And you two attack Cologne right off the bat, so that they're attacked while they're surrounded, so that they hopefully cannot retreat. That's kind of my plan. Actually, you perhaps should also do that, so that you have a bit of a more easy time pushing up. In fact, you should stay here, the 2nd Mountain Division, and defend the province from enemy forces. We're also pushing up in Trier, which is very nice. And then the rest of our troops should be coming in soon. Of course, they're fairly slow being infantry, but eventually they'll follow through. You'll eventually be overrun because these infantry units are surrounding you 3-to-1, but they're out of supply and they're having to cross a river, so that is not very good for them. And we can try to use that to our advantage. Münster doesn't appear to have any fortification, unfortunately, so that is not very good. You are moving up, very nice. And you might not be able to hold. Chinese aid arrives. Although the Republic of China was not able to contribute significant military resources in the Great War, a group of Chinese migrant workers did arrive in the Western countries to help the war effort. So we do get some extra manpower, representing men that are coming from China, taking over something like factory jobs or farming, and thus freeing up more of our labor force to join the army. Also, France, very nicely, has decided to help us in Trier with a lot of their divisions, and that should be enough to defeat the rest of the Germans. These men shall stay here and then eventually join the attack on Cologne. Unfortunately, our cavalry has been surrounded, so it wasn't enough. Somehow, these troops managed to escape the attack that we're putting Cologne through. Not really sure how that was possible for them, but oh well. We shall try to take Essen instead. Then in the meantime, our cavalry is marching towards Trier. That should hopefully deal some damage to the German troops there. You'll move on towards Mainz and try to give them something to think about. Unfortunately, our cavalry in Münster will likely fall to German pressure. We have one in Neuwied, and this division can move towards Bielefeld. Because we have some support coming through from this corps of infantry. So Germany is insisting that Sweden joins the Central Powers, but they thankfully refused. And we have managed to get to Essen. Very, very nice. So we have the encirclement once again under our control. And right now in Cologne, they're not doing all that well. However, can't really be too sure of victory yet. And we are attacking them in Mainz, however, nothing of major concerns. You shall now attack into Cologne, in fact, because that would be a much better attack than the other one that you're being engaged in. You somehow are still having supply problems. That may be because Neuwied isn't connected with Essen. Well, that's weird. Well, try to get to Bielefeld, and then back to Münster. In fact, the units in Düsseldorf are trying to reach Münster, which isn't very good, so we shall attack them. And also airstrike them, to make them reconsider their ideas about life. Our troops here are going to take pretty huge casualties, but they should at least slow down the enemy. And of course, since we're taking a bunch of important cities from the Germans, they're going to be getting tons of dissent from events right now. And good, so Bielefeld is going to be taken fairly easily. We have lost in Mainz. Oh, unfortunate. So that also caused basically the destruction of the 1st Mounted Division as a fighting force. They lost seemingly about 40% of their strength. So that's not very good. Because I really didn't expect all these reinforcements to come into Mainz. I would have expected them to come into Hanover or Kassel, one of these areas that are closer to the German heartland. Right now, our brave men are sacrificing their lives so that the Germans in Düsseldorf have a harder time escaping the trap that we have set for them. And hopefully that will work. Cologne so far is taking lots of casualties. But at the same time, since it's so heavily fortified, we're having a very hard time. And we're taking huge losses actually attacking it. So that is a big problem indeed. Münster. Okay, very good. So our cavalry has managed to reach Münster and might have the strength required to hold the enemy, at least for a little while. Oh, just a small transport. And we sunk actually a Ottoman unit in there. The 11th Ottoman Corps was being transported by that unit to who knows where. They are now gonna hurt nobody anymore. Trier. Oh, really now? Well, that's not very good. Now, we could send reinforcements over to Trier, but we don't really have reinforcements to send to Trier. That's not good. But the French are in the area in force, so I'm hoping that the French are going to have the presence to help us out. We do have some extra money, so let's try some industrial espionage. Failed. Let's try some more industrial espionage. Failed. Annoying. When will we be able to upgrade our intelligence? July the 11th, 1915. So soon enough, and it's going to be probably very expensive. So not good. Not good at all. You'll do some support attacking into Düsseldorf. And we lost in Münster, which isn't good. We're going to have to rely on the 2nd Mounted Division to come through and try to relieve the area. In the meantime, you shall rest and refit because you're very weak. Also, probably need to increase the amount of reinforcements that I'm allocating. So our forces in Egypt are doing okay. We have a West African regiment, right? You're gonna stay in Suez, actually, just to be safe. Then you are supposedly gonna be able to defeat the Germans that are now trapped. Right? Good. Easy. And then we shall clear out the last remaining German pocket in Africa, down here. In Cameroon, we're also doing fairly well. That was my clock, so that's the end of the part. I'm going to see you next part for the Grand Campaign. Hope you've enjoyed so far, and I'll see you soon.